Have you ever wondered why gold, of all the shiny things on Earth, is considered the ultimate investment? I mean, what's so special about gold that has made it the chosen one throughout history? We're talking about a material that's been trusted as money for thousands of years, and it's not just because it looks pretty in your jewelry box. Today we're diving deep into why gold isn't just valuable but scientifically the best investment out there. Now I know what you're thinking. Gold? Isn't that just something you buy when you want to feel fancy and rich? Well yeah, but there's so much more to it than that. Gold is more than just a shiny rock. In fact, it's practically been the backbone of global wealth and financial security for centuries, so let's break it down, shall we? If you're thinking of investing, you'd want your asset to meet a few basic criteria, right? Something that holds value, something that lasts, and let's be honest, something that doesn't turn into a pile of mush after a few years. Now let's look at what makes a metal a good candidate for currency. For one, it has to have physical stability. The material needs to stand the test of time without falling apart, tarnishing, or losing its appearance. So think about it. You want your investment to look just as good 50 years from now as it does today, right? Gold does exactly that. It doesn't rust or corrode like iron or silver. It doesn't lose its shine over time. So when ancient civilizations used gold, they knew that it would literally last thousands of years without degrading. Imagine holding onto a coin from 500 BC and it still looks as shiny as the day it was made. That's physical stability at its best. The second factor is manipulability, meaning can you actually work with it? Can you shape it into coins, jewelry, or anything else without too much hassle? Now gold is one of the easiest metals to manipulate. Unlike platinum or rhodium, which need ridiculously high temperatures to work with, gold is relatively soft and easy to melt. It has the perfect balance of being malleable enough to be shaped into anything you need, but also durable enough to maintain its structure for thousands of years. And then, we get to rarity. You want your currency to be rare, but not too rare. If it's too abundant, it won't hold value, and if it's too scarce, you won't be able to get your hands on it without a treasure map. Now gold is just rare enough. It's not like mercury or aluminum, which are either toxic or too soft for practical use. Gold's rarity also helps keep its value intact. It's not so abundant that it's constantly being dug up and flooding the market. And it's not so scarce that it becomes impossible to obtain, which is why it's been used in trade for centuries. Lastly, safe handling. This one's big. You don't want your currency to be something that can poison you. Take mercury, for instance. It's liquid at room temperature and highly toxic. Not exactly something you want in your pocket. Or think about lithium, which is highly reactive and could explode if exposed to water. Gold, on the other hand, is safe to handle, doesn't cause fires, and isn't toxic. That makes it a lot more practical than, say, radioactive elements that could literally harm you if you get too close. In fact, the periodic table is full of metals that are too reactive, too dangerous, or just impractical. But guess what? Gold checks all the boxes. It's stable, not too rare, and safe to handle. Oh, and it's one of the few metals that can literally last thousands of years without deteriorating. So why did the ancients pick gold as their currency of choice? Well, picture this. Ancient Egypt. Pharaohs don't just wear any old metal, they wear gold. Why? Because it lasts. You don't see pharaohs rocking rusted silver jewelry, right? Gold didn't just look great, it was practical. Gold coins minted in the 6th century BC are still around today in perfect condition. You know why? Because unlike silver, which tarnishes when exposed to air or moisture, gold doesn't lose its shine. It doesn't rust. It doesn't corrode. And guess what? That's a massive reason why gold has remained a stable store of value for thousands of years. The ancients didn't have fancy financial models or spreadsheets, but they figured out one key thing. If you want your wealth to survive for centuries, you need gold. Now let's bring in the competition. What about other precious metals like silver, platinum, or rhodium? Why doesn't gold just sit next to them in a little metals beauty contest? Well, here's the deal. Silver has been used as money for a long time too, but it's not quite as shiny as gold. Literally. While gold has this beautiful, rich yellow hue, silver is not as good because it tarnishes. Over time, silver develops a dull, grayish coating. It's like getting a new car and leaving it out in the rain. It's not long before the shine fades. Plus, silver is more abundant in the Earth's crust than gold, meaning there's more of it around, and it's easier to mine. In fact, silver is about 19 times more abundant than gold. That abundance makes it less valuable in the long run. If you're looking for something to store your wealth, gold is just more reliable. Now, platinum and rhodium, two metals that are rarer than gold, seem like serious contenders, right? Well, they didn't even enter the scene until the 1800s. And even though they're rarer, these metals come with big downsides. Platinum, for instance, has a high melting point. I mean, it's so high you need a furnace to work with it. Definitely not something the ancient civilizations could use. And rhodium, though rare, is volatile. Its prices can swing wildly, which doesn't exactly scream reliable investment. Gold, on the other hand, is reliable, and it's been a store of wealth for centuries. It's not just shiny, it's stable, rare enough to retain its value and safe to handle. That's why it's a gold standard for wealth storage. Now let's talk about crises. You know, the kind of moments when the stock market crashes, the economy tanks, and people start wondering if their savings are worth anything. When the going gets tough, the tough turn to gold. In 2008, we saw the global financial crisis hit hard. People were freaking out. The stock market crashed. And what did gold do? It soared. From around $800 per ounce in early 2008, it peaked at nearly $1,900 by 2011. Why? Because during a crisis, people want something they can trust. They flock to gold because it doesn't depend on the economy. It holds its value no matter what's going on in the world. Let's jump to 2020. The pandemic sent markets into a tailspin. But gold? Gold hit an all-time high of $2,070 per ounce in August 2020. While the stock market was in freefall, gold was rising. Investors ran to gold as a safe haven, and it didn't disappoint. Talk about a financial superhero. Gold's resilience during times of uncertainty is exactly why it's still seen as a safe haven asset today. When inflation rears its ugly head or a recession hits, gold is like your financial seatbelt. It keeps you safe when everything else is crashing. So, why are we still talking about gold today? Well, gold isn't just some relic from ancient Egypt. It's a real player in the modern financial game. In fact, central banks around the world hold massive amounts of gold in reserves. In 2019, central banks bought more gold than they had in 50 years. Countries like China and Russia have been adding gold to their reserves to hedge against the weakening US dollar. These countries understand something critical. Gold is a hedge against risk. Investors today use gold for the same reason. It's a way to diversify your portfolio and protect against volatility. Just look at how gold performed in 2020 when the stock market was tanking. People with gold in their portfolios saw their investments rise, even as everything else dropped. Now let's talk about the future. Where does gold go from here? Honestly, as long as governments keep printing money like it's going out of style, gold's role is secure. With the global economy facing unprecedented challenges, there's no sign that gold will lose its relevance anytime soon. As a long-term investment, gold has shown it can withstand economic crashes, inflation, and geopolitical tensions. In fact, as long as uncertainty remains in the world, gold is going to keep shining. Now, if you're tired of these so-called stock market experts blabbing about the same picks over and over again, I've got good news. I found an investing newsletter that completely blows the competition out of the water. They find highly asymmetric stocks with low risk and high reward, the kind you'll never hear about on CNBC or other major stock market news sites. I'm talking about companies like Ukrainian agri-producers during a war, or Bank Handlowy in Poland, a solid bank trading at insanely low valuations. These companies aren't flashy. Many of them produce boring products or provide services in oil and gas, banking, and agriculture. But here's the thing, they make money. And by investing in stocks like these, you can too. For a limited time, they're offering a 30-day trial for just $1. But as a thank you for watching this video to the end, I can do even better. Click the link in the description and tell me your best email address so I can send you their recent newsletter for free. It comes with 5 stock recommendations as well as high-quality market analysis, so make sure you check it out. You've literally got nothing to lose.